Super Smash Bros. Brawl is pretty universally known as the worst Smash game. That doesn't mean it isn't the best though. Brawl has this really special feeling to it. It radiates coolness with everything it does. I swear, it taps into that child part of your mind that really wants their interest to be seen as mature and pokes it a million times in succession. Look at how grown up I am, Mom. Mario's overalls are made out of real denim. It almost feels like you're playing something you're not supposed to. Except it's a baby game with a baby plot and baby mechanics. But like, they got Sonic the Hedgehog in here. And solid goddamn Snake. How can you not love it? Oh yeah, right. Though another reason I love Brawl so much is definitely because of nostalgia. I grew up with this game and spent hours on it when I was really young. Though I never got past the Great Maze because oh, too big for little baby Jammy. But the nostalgia that I'm talking about isn't from simply playing the game. Brawl came out around the time the internet stopped being just for torrenting music and Pico school, so it's the first Smash game to really interact with the modern internet landscape, and in a very budding state where pretty much anyone could go viral as long as they thought of something funny enough. And I think that's resulted in some very unique stuff being tied to it. Nowadays, you search Smash Bros on YouTube and you get very cherry-picked results, like a Smash Ultimate overview trailer, whatever the party crashers are doing that week, and people who still don't realize you can't exactly top Smash Ultimate. But back then, you really could just get the big gay dance and you have to sit there and deal with it. There's a lot of Brawl videos that in any other age wouldn't be very notable, but they reached me at a time when I was very young and impressionable, so they're engraved into the crevices of my brain. And they have that amateur old internet charm that makes them really interesting to revisit. Even videos on stuff like the old giant Jigglypuff glitch give me a wave of nostalgia. So I wanted to take a video and just talk about the random garbage I used to shovel into my mouth, because it's either this or SMG4. You guys know what a machinima is, right? They used to be so massive back in the day, but you don't see them anymore. When it comes to Brawl, there's one machinima series that sticks out of my mind, and it's not Kirby's Peanut Butter Jelly Time, believe it or not. Total Brawl Island was a sadly short-lived Brawl machinima series. It's obviously based off the show Total Drama Island, and has the same premise where a group of characters compete in a reality TV show. There really is something beautiful about this series. When I think of a bunch of guys trying to make a movie out of a video game, this is what I think of. It's so hard to even listen to anything, because sometimes the music will be so loud it drowns out everybody else, and some characters just speak in really ridiculous voices or they start muttering.
Your most dishonorable blonde one. You must regain your honor in a fight.
And I may be the last person who should comment on being inaudible, but I don't know who thought this was a good idea. These videos are surprisingly very funny, though it is absolutely a product of its time.
Hi guys, do you have any knives I can cut myself with?
Amidst all the Luigi self-harm jokes is actual comedy that makes me at least chuckle.
What a nice day. Well, time for my job. Please, please, please give me money. Please.
The fact that Meta Knight is portrayed as this whiny loser teen always gets me, I'm not sure why.
Mom, why do you hate me? Because you have no girlfriend.
I like the fact that Ness's voice actor in the very first episode sounds like they got an actual child to do the voice. It's like Lucas's voice actor just got his little brother in front of the mic because they had nobody to play Ness. And Ness's voice actor does change in the very next episode.
Yeah, Lucas?
The funny thing about these two is that their personalities are a complete inverse of what you expect from a Smash Bros. Series. Ness is the quiet, timid one, and Lucas is the loud, aggressive one.
I take your head and use it as my new bowling ball!
Cause you know, whenever Lucas is depicted in Smash, he's like... But in this, he's a menace to everybody around him. Also, Diddy Kong, for whatever reason, is apparently a hacker, or something. He introduces himself as the biggest cheater around, and then later on, Ganondorf asks him to make hacked shoes to give him super speed. I don't quite understand, but I'm not gonna ask. It sucks that the series only went on for 3 episodes, cause I think it's really entertaining. A short teaser for the next episode was released, and it sounded like it was going to be interesting. Well, I think, I'm just reading lips here. But alas, Total Brawl Island is a nostalgic could've been. I'll miss you. Excuse me? And since we're on the topic of slurs...
Show me your boobs!
Brawl taunts. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about this, I just wanted to show it off. This is like the purest form of edgy Newgrounds flash animation.
Damn it, Mario! Why can't I ever be a top-tier character?
Silly Bowsy, tears out of a queer.
It was made by Christopher Niosi and Kira Buckland, 2 people that you most definitely know from somewhere. And it's just a bunch of Smash characters being vulgar for like 3 minutes. Honestly, I don't think I can explain it with words. The only thing that can explain it is itself.
You can have my big guy dance!
Now I'm sure every Smash fan knows what a Project M is. Melee fans got so mad over Brawl's mechanics that they literally took the game apart just to make it more like Melee. I never got to experience Project M before it died because I was a drooling baby who didn't know how to wave dash, but I've heard tales of its fame. And now we have like Project M Remix that's adding every character under the sun. This is too scary, I need to go back. Oh, Pikachu, please hold me. Is Pikachu still a thing that people remember? Some freak decided to switch Pikachu's moveset with Ganondorf so that I've never been able to unsee it. Brawl has a lot of really weird mods. Like yeah, all games have weird mods, but Brawl has a really special case of just esoteric stuff. Like what was the thought process behind Nightmare Luigi? I saw most of these mods through the channel Master of Hyrule, who used to do a lot of videos just showcasing the most insane Brawl mods he could find. Stuff like comically overpowered final smashes, Waluigi over every boss in the game, and 30 different ways Captain Falcon could hit you with his final smash. And that's just what I remember. There are some mod videos out there that look like completely different games. Like this just looks like some crappy licensed Dragon Ball Z game. I hope there are still people making lunatic Brawl mods in this day and age. Brawl modding has advanced to such a degree that most people are expecting fully new Smash games from a Brawl mod, but it's always refreshing to just see people messing around with their modding tools. Yeah, I played a lot of Brawl as a kid, but you wanna know what else I was doing? Piracy. Lots of it. Probably more than I should have for my age. I had a dingy little iPad and a dream of getting Minecraft for free, so I discovered the art of sideloading, essentially downloading unverified apps to my iPad, which was surprisingly way less dangerous than it sounds. And somehow, right next to my GBA for iOS and Providence emulator, I had ISSB, a Brawl fan game for the phone. I've never felt more poor playing a game in my life. I mean, this is a funny, ambitious little game. It was made by seemingly one guy, Louis Fink, under the name Broken Physics Studios, so I'm not going to be too harsh on it. Well, I will, but don't take this as like a genuine critique or anything. ISSB is extremely rough around the edges, and there's only 6 characters and 5 stages. 4 stages that don't cause seizures. The character roster for this game consists of Mario, Sonic, Ichigo, Fox, and in later updates they added Pikachu and Link. If I had a nickel for every Smash fan game that puts anime characters in their roster, I'd be a millionaire. What was cool about this game was that it had Bluetooth support for local matches, or at least it does on paper. I remember trying it out with my little brother and it just did not work at all. ISSB isn't being updated by the original developer anymore, but the game is open source, and it seems he's still monitoring the source code to implement fan updates, such as adding Cuphead and then immediately removing him because he looks like this. The last thing I want to talk about was what actually brought upon the creation of this video. For the longest time, I had this weird memory of watching some YouTube video that was a 3D animation of some big gaming crossover, where a massive army of characters like Mario, Sonic, Rayman, and Sackboy were facing off against a man that I didn't recognize. The walls shoot out a mysterious gas and the entire army collapses unconscious, and that's where my memory ends. So obviously that sounds insane, so I needed to find it, but I had literally no leads. I remember the animation seemed rudimentary, so I just assumed it was a source filmmaker animation and just searched up Smash Bros crossover SFM or something like that before 2015. I don't know if that's how I found Super Smash Bros Gmod, considering it wasn't even made in source filmmaker, but I found it now and I'm ready to devote way too much time into this. Super Smash Bros Gmod is a 3-part fan movie series detailing the Subspace Emissary inspired Smash Bros story that also doubles as an even bigger crossover than Smash itself. The creator, Gaming All-Stars Gmod, says it best themselves. Anybody who's anyone is in this, unless they're not for Gary's mod. I find it crazy that this entire thing was made in Gmod. Obviously when you think of Valve animation software, you think of source filmmaker, but this guy went above and beyond and made his life significantly harder. I guess that means that this is a machinima, but it feels weird calling the series that, since it really does just use Gmod as an animation software. All 3 movies were created in the span of a year, which is absolutely insane given the sheer scope of this project. The first movie is 30 minutes long, and then 3 months later the second movie came out and just doubled that, and then only 6 months later the third movie came out at a whopping 1 hour and 30 minutes runtime. This guy single-handedly produced what adds up to 2 films in the span of 9 months, and I don't care if they look like this, that's still bonkers. Super Smash Bros. Gmod 1 opens up with Mario on top of Peach's castle, when suddenly Bowser Koopa comes in on a tiny airship and sticks Shadow Mario from Sunshine on him. They have a bit of a scuffle, and then Mario kicks him off the castle into the river below. That's Bowser Jr. by the way, Mario just killed Bowser's child in cold blood. And then we cut to Sonic and Tails who are flying around in the tornado, when they see Bowser and Mario duking it out. Sonic jumps in to help Mario, and the two get ready to fight Bowser, when suddenly a Big Daddy from Bioshock appears, drags Bowser underwater and drives a drill into his chest. Yeah, this is the reason that Super Smash Bros. Gmod sticks out so much in my mind. Literally any game character can show up in this series. The very next scene has Chris Redfield from Resident Evil fighting Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, and also these 2 zombies who got name dropped and then immediately died. As Chris meets up with Solid Snake and runs through the Skeld, we pan to Wesker, who's working with the G-Man. The G-Man is the main antagonist of Super Smash Bros. Gmod, as he is In Gaming All-Stars Gmod's own words, the greatest character ever. Now I've never played the Half-Lives, I have them on Steam, I really should. But I know that Gman is like this interdimensional godlike entity, but in this series he seems to just be a guy. Whenever he has to fight, he just throws hands, and usually he's just brooding away from the battle, so I don't think he's living up to his full potential here. You really can tell that the creator played Subspace Emissary, thought that it was the coolest thing ever, and decided to make their own on the whim. Because this series wears its inspiration on its sleeve. It perfectly captures the spirit of crossing over random characters who would probably have chemistry together, and making them do disjointed side missions until they meet up with another group of random crossover characters. Team Bing Bing Wahoo consists of Mario, Sonic, Tails, Rayman, Sackboy, and the Prince, who for some reason are referred to as Damacy. Wario and Waluigi are working for the G-Man because Bowser's already dead in the water, and Altair from Assassin's Creed really wants Ganondorf dead for some reason. At a point, the plot just starts getting impossible to follow. Team Bing Bing Wahoo and Team Action Heroes converge together after G-Man's ship blows up, and now they're hunting the Chaos Emeralds. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Then we cut to Sub-Zero and Scorpion fighting in hell before Sub-Zero gets thrown into a portal and he meets up with Big Daddy. And also Peach's castle is on fire, and yeah, Bowser Jr. and Shadow Mario are two separate characters. And also, Yoshi's partnering with Vector Man, and El Gigante is here. Who the hell is the merchant? And yeah, Bowser literally died. He got satanically revived by G-Man. Also, Perfect Chaos is here. I don't know whose side he's on. I don't know if he's taking sides, he just shows up and sinks his ship to both the heroes and G-Man are on. My point is, stuff just happens. If you thought Subspace Emissary had issues with managing his characters, just wait till you see Master Chief not do anything at all. They list Paracoopa as a character in the credits, but I'm pretty sure none ever show up. Just like Master Hand, he never shows up. I don't know why he's in the credits. Huh. I'm gonna be honest, putting Master Hand as the final character in the credits to tease him showing up in the post-credits scene is a really cool detail. I hope something else that's a little more not Super Smash Bros. Gmod does this, because it's an awesome setup for a stinger. And stinger it is, because it teases the next volume in this series, Super Smash Bros. Gmod 2! So movie 2 is more of the same. The G-Man returns thanks to Master Hand, and he wants revenge. I don't know how else you can explain this clearly targeted attack on Mario. I don't care who the Fizz-Nom is in Peach's castle for some reason. I don't get how kidnapping both Peach and Mario contribute to his plan. Actually, he kidnaps Peach in all of these for some reason. She isn't important to any of his plans, so he's just like a generational hater for no reason. There are a lot of new characters who join the fray in this one. We got names like Samus, Lucas, My Goat, Ralph, the dude from Skylanders, the Ice Climbers who are uncannily large for some reason, George. This one's tough to comment on without just recapping the entire thing, because not much interesting stuff happens. The first Super Smash Bros. Gmod was only 30 minutes long, but this one is double that, and I feel like it really should have also just been 30 minutes. There are so many scenes that are just characters walking alone when bad guy shows up. Character fights bad guy, but is losing. Then they get saved by other character and bad guy runs away. There's a scene where Chris Redfield, Cloud Strife, and Dante from the Devil May Cry series fight off some villains, and it lasts for 5 whole minutes, making it one of the longest scenes in the series, and these 3 never show up again. Also, Gaming All-Stars Gmod doesn't know its Pac-Man ghosts. No! So this is literally unwatchable. To be fair, it does pick up at the climax. Like a true sequel, the group heads to space to fight the G-Man on its like 5th ship. And now I can start recapping everything, because I can't not talk about the fact that the moon from Majora's Mask shows up and uses Master Hand and Crazy Hand like it's a floating hand boss. One thing I can seriously commend Super Smash Bros. Gmod 2 for is that it does a way better job at group fights in the first installment. And by that I mean it actually does them. It's pretty cool to watch a full-out war between video game characters, even if it's at 4 FPS. Sackboy and Bowser Jr. actually just look like children fighting, and that's really funny. Also, for some reason, Dr. Eggman's model randomly changes from his standard design to the Sonic 06 design. There's gotta be like some story behind this. Ultimately, the G-Man is stopped once again, and we can roll the credits. This time we got a cute epilogue of most of the cast making their way back home, and a promise that until they can get a Crash Bandicoot model, this will be the final installment in the series. And they also show off some characters they wanted to add with the reasons they were cut. These range from them not finding any available Gmod ragdolls of that character, or barring them because they're a PlayStation exclusive even though they have Dante. Or they're the NES Gmod ragdoll apparently being kept top secret. It's mine, all mine! So in another universe, this is where the Super Smash Bros. Gmod series ends, with a cliffhanger of Dr. Eggman and Mephiles encountering Gygus. Though to be fair, Smash Gmod 3 did come around and there was no Crash Bandicoot in sight. This one is definitely the best out of the lot. While it's hard to say whether Super Smash Bros. Gmod 1 or 2 is better since the former is more concise but the latter is better produced, this one just runs laps around its predecessors. Though I think we could have gone without the characters being voiced. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
You've much yet to learn.
And sometimes you have to listen to the Cosmic Marios. As I said earlier, this one is a whopping 1 hour and 30 minutes, but it impressively doesn't overstay its welcome. This may just be due to the absolute gargantuan number of characters, but the scenes are also a lot more diverse than they were in Super Smash Bros. Gmod 2. I had to sit through like 45 minutes of the exact same structure and it nearly killed me. Though maybe the absolutely insane character variety in this one is carrying it for me. The creator got nearly all of the characters that he wanted to add to Smash Gmod 2. God knows the people he had to kill for that NES model, and then decided to just go ham. You ever wanted to see Star Fox fight against the Space Invaders? You ever wanted to see the Space Invaders atomize a civilian? Do you remember the adventures of Lolo? There's one completely baffling scene that starts off in a Minecraft world, and then pans to Prince Lolo from the Eggerland series who fights Chaos and Galactus with Pac-Man, Vector Man, and Meat Boy. I don't know why they're in Minecraft. The only thing I can think of is that it kind of looks like an NES game if you squint, invert the colors, flip it upside down, and paste a picture of an NES game over it, so I can see why they did that. This time, I'm not sure if the climax is the best part. I wasn't disappointed, but I do think the individual fights were for the most part better than in the climax. The whole good versus evil war segment is well produced, but I don't know, I feel like it was better in Smash Gmod 2. Yes, I am genuinely critiquing this, who do you take me for? The whole Super G-Man thing is pretty raw. Yes, G-Man calls upon the power of Gygus to get a final form, but it's brought down by the pacing slowing down to an absolute crawl. We get 3.5 minutes of just this. Which doesn't sound like that much, but it feels like an eternity when you're just sitting there and watching the scene repeat over and over again. Though, the fact that the final fight of the series is a direct callback to the final fight of the first movie with a 1-to-1 reenactment of Mario vs. G-Man is so sick, and it genuinely hyped me up so hard, I don't know if I should be embarrassed or not. It flashes back to parts of the original fight as they're reenacted with smoother animation, and it is awesome. As the cast of characters roll, we get no new character at the end, showing that the story really is over. But you know, I was really hoping that Crash Bandicoot would pull a subspace emissary Sonic and show up at the very end to help in the final battle. He arrives at the battlefield to see everybody dead and goes, "Whoa!" And Gaming All-Stars Gmod moved on. They moved on so much that they changed the original name of the channel from Super Smash Bros. Gmod to what I've been calling them the entire time. Gaming All-Stars is the name of their new series, and it seems to just be more Super Smash Bros. Gmod type shenanigans, but checking that out is far beyond my scope. This video is already way longer than I envisioned. It can't go over 6 seasons of Gmod battling. Additionally, they remastered the second movie to give it sound effects, which is cool, but then they remastered it again. Turns out Gaming All-Stars made troll remastered versions of every Smash Bros. Gmod movie, which they dubbed the Super Smash Bros. Gmod series. The funniest thing is that these are actual remasters in a sense. They are remade versions of the original movies in terms of length and plot, with improved animation and added sound effects. They're just filled with dead memes and ragdoll humor. I've already gushed about this stupid series enough, but I just find it really neat that some person on the internet devoted so much time into making their own fanfiction movie with the limited resources they had. And honestly, Rough Around the Edge's passion project with limited resources sums up most of the stuff here. Early YouTube videos have such a unique charm to them that's been lost in the corporatization of the platform, and it's always the random garbage that people made by Super Smash Bros. Brawl that reminds me of that. And no matter how bad they age, I'm always gonna have a fondness for stuff that's very clearly just a few guys letting their imagination run wild and creating something for the world to see. So rest well, Brawl. You left behind a legacy that may or may not include the Big A dance. Hey, it's Outro Jammy here. I'm the cousin of Editor Jammy. I realized I should probably start talking about Brawl in the family too, because that's a Brawl internet thing. But I don't have anything to say about it. I just wanted to show off my friend Borb's DD Doll plush. Look at this thing. Also, last video of 2025, huh? That's pretty cool. Next year I'm thinking of opening up YouTube channel memberships. That'd be pretty cool. Like I can make like extra, like super tiny videos like I used to. There's a lot of random garbage that I want to talk about on the channel, but I don't really have enough material to talk about, so I guess that'd be a good way to talk about them. And also, obviously I'd have like sneak peeks and like, maybe like a Discord server, I don't know. Would anybody buy this? Probably not, probably only Lozen, but yeah, it's something to think about. Happy New Year. Happy Jamie New Year.